So let's just check our posture. So if you are sitting on a chair with your feet down, like you're on a desk or something, just make sure your feet are flat on the floor, perhaps with a cushion underneath. So your lower leg and your upper leg are at right angles to each other. And then for those of us who are sitting in the usual cross-legged meditation posture, just make sure you're also too, if you're sitting on a chair with your legs down, make sure your pelvis is not tipped forward or back. So you want it to be upright. And you can put a little cushion underneath your coccyx. And that also helps to alleviate kind of tension in the upper back, but it also helps to straighten the spine. It's much more comfortable anyway, that way. Hands in the meditation mudra. So your right hand is nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. So imagine your spine is made of pearls of light, and these are stretching from the coccyx all the way up through your spine, through the crown of your head. And just imagine that there's somebody above you just very gently lengthening your spine. So you may have had a very busy day where you've been running around, pounding down your spine. You want to put get some space back into in between your discs, in between your vertebrae. One of my Alexander teachers told me that through the day, as you're walking around, you just kind of slowly kind of pound down the fluid in between the discs kind of gets a little bit less. And when you kind of lie down on the floor, when you lie down at night, just kind of it somehow returns. But with the pull of gravity, as we get older, that's why we kind of start to shrink and bend over. So it's really good. Anyway, not just for meditation, but just for your own posture, to try and keep your shoulders over your hips and your spine long. Because as we get older, what I'm finding myself personally is just a fight against gravity. It's a fight against old age to keep the body moving and free of pain. So head is slightly tipped forward. The eyes are down. If your eyes are open, they would be looking at a spot about 2 inches in front of you. So the back of your neck is kind of long. So you're not kind of crunched up at the back there. If your chin is raised, you do kind of, it contracts the back of the neck. You'll notice if you just experiment, just lifting your head up. And that's not great for the mind. They say it creates agitation in the mind. If your head is too far forward, it makes you very sleepy. Tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth and relax the jaw. And then let's just go to the crown of the head. Relax the scalp and just move down to your forehead. Relax the forehead and the eyes, the temples, the nose and the cheeks, the ears, and the area around the mouth, and the chin. Check the jaw again. And then let's just go to bring our awareness to the back of the scalp. And you relax your scalp again, and you'll notice a different and more sets of muscles also in the face, just relaxing. Relax the back of the neck, the shoulders, your back, the front of the neck, your chest, and your belly. Just relax your abdomen. Relax your arms and your hands and your fingers and the legs and the feet and the toes. And let's just bring our mind to the breath. Just breathing in and breathing out. So as you breathe in, you'll notice the sensation of the cool air flowing in. And as you breathe out, the sensation of the air is slightly warmer. As we think of a motivation for this evening. So just imagine all the people of your life. Just bring them to your awareness. the ones you love, the ones you've lost. The ones you don't like and who don't like you, the ones who are the strangers you might see every now and then, but don't pay terribly much attention to them. And just remember that they all too are the same in their wish to be happy and their inability to find happiness, and their wish to be free from suffering and their constant encounters with it. And that we're all the same, that we all have this incredible potential. So why are we doing this meditation this evening tonight? Well, we're doing it so we can purify negative karma. We're doing it for all these sentient beings, all the people in our life, so we can be of benefit to them as we make our way towards enlightenment. So just to remember that there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And the purification process is basically a psychological one. So we are creating all this negativity with our mind so we can counteract that with positivity from our mind. And we purify by applying the 4 opponent powers, this practice. So the first of the 4 opponent powers is the power of regret. So just sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in any past lives. And just think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. Perhaps something happened today. So just sincerely regret from your heart. And then generally regret any harm you've done throughout your life and in your past lives, things you don't remember. And the reason we regret is based on this logic of karma. As we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, having harmed others, we will necessarily experience suffering in the future, and we do not want that. We understand from our current problems and obstacles and suffering and body aches and pains, we don't need any more of this kind of thing. So the logic is therefore to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen into future suffering. So think like this. Think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows. And if you have Bodhisattva or Pratamoksha, if you have tantric vows, and me, I have my nun's vows, then just any that you've broken or degenerated, just sincerely regret because they're so precious. And also perhaps regret the anger and the attachment, all the rest of the delusions, these are the cause of why we harm others. And we just think to ourselves, I'm sick of this suffering. So what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the second of the 4 opponent powers, reliance. And the first little section here is refuge. So we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify ourselves. So we're not relying upon the Buddha. We don't need him to forgive us. We purify ourselves by relying upon his methods. So just visualize Guru Vajrasattva upon the crown of your head, and he is your guru. You can imagine if you have a lama or a teacher, a trusted mentor, a spiritual friend, however you wish to think of them, you can imagine this is the mind of this person manifesting in this way for your benefit. So Guru Vajrasattva is made of radiant, blissful white light, and he's sitting cross-legged on a lotus and has this beautiful, youthful, radiant face. And his long lotus-like eyes, and these are peaceful, very full of love and compassion for you, for all the people of your life. He has no judgment of who you are and what you've been getting up to in your life. He just loves you unconditionally, accepts you exactly as you are. He has this sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a Vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and there being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So the second little section here is compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, so the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So maybe bring to mind the person that we brought to mind at the beginning of the session that maybe we've harmed today, or the sentient being we harmed today. And then maybe think perhaps someone who's harmed you. A little harm, maybe, or a big harm. But maybe something that hurt your mind. Rinpoche uses that expression. So if there's been a person that's hurt your mind, you just have compassion for them because they are going to suffer as a result of the harm that they've done to you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings. I must purify for their sake. So the third is the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine, practice of purification. So the first is the purification of the body. And Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar. It's coming quite strongly from his heart, and it sort of arcs around and pours into your body, filling you completely. And just imagine it's just pouring into you. And it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of this kind of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just feel completely purified as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokayo Mebowa Supokayo Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Mebowa, Sutokayo Mebowa, Supokayo Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dina Mebowa, Sutokayo Mebowa, Supokayo Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dina Mebowa, Sutokaya Mebowa, Supokayo Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dina Mebowa, Sutokaya Mebowa, Supokayo Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Mebowa, Sutokaya Mebowa, Supakaya Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Mebowa, Sutokaya Mebowa, Supakaya Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Then be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body is completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but be of benefit to others now with your body. And the next is the purification of the speech. So just again, Guru Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown, fills your entire body, except this time forces up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just as LAMA YESHE says, when you turn on the tap in the sink and fill a dirty glass, all the junk in the glass comes to the top and overflows. So you can imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and the lying and the talking badly about others behind their back and getting other people to agree to all your opinions and views, and all this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawakama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame muza vajrabawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawakama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawakama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawakama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawakama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawakama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawakama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe. So again, feel so happy, just rejoice. Your speech is completely purified, and imagine that it's not possible to do anything other than be of benefit to others with your speech. So just imagine that anybody hearing your voice benefits their mind. How amazing it would be to have this quality. Incredible. So the next is the purification of the mind. So Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sends this time powerful beams of like laser light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown chakra and fills your entire being. So you can just remember the analogy here. It's the same as when you walk into a room and you switch on the light. You notice the light instantly dispels the darkness. So in the same way here, the moment the light hits your heart chakra, the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment, the neediness, the anger, the grudges, the depression, the bitterness and resentment and jealousy, all instantly dispelled. not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimbiyata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Savatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Savatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Savatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Savatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of our own suffering, all our delusions and the cause of why we harm others with our body and speech, are completely purified. They've gone. And think there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and wisdom, compassion and bliss. So the next is this final recitation of the mantra is purifying even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So this time you can imagine light and nectar pouring into you. And you can either do the 3 previous visualizations from recitation or either kind of simultaneously or one after the other. Or if that's all too busy, you can just imagine light or light and nectar, whatever works. As Guru Vajrasattva sends this light and this nectar, and it eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negativity from the mind. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Savatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sutame Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sutame Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta me bawa sawa sidi me be yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra mame muza vajra bawa ma zamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dina me bawa sutokaya me bawa supokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa sidi me be yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Savatata gata vajra mame mutsa vajra bala mahazamaya sata ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Dina mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawasidi mepe yata sawa kama sutta me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan savatata gata vajra mame mutsa vajra bala mahazamaya sata ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dina mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawasidi mempe yata sawa kama sutta me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan savatata gata vajra mame mutsa vajra bala mahasamaya sata ahum pe. Now feel that you are completely purified. Really believe it. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So this fourth step is really crucial. We make a decision here to not harm with our body and speech and our mind. It's like we have a determination within our minds to refrain from doing these things that we know harm ourselves and others. So without this, we're going to just keep doing the same old stuff over and over again. We'll keep opening our mouth and putting our foot in it, or saying things, talking about people. And if someone to actually hear you saying the things that you say about people, you'd be really embarrassed and you'd probably feel really awful. If they heard you, they'd feel hurt. So one thing we can actually do is just, before we think to speak badly about someone, maybe just imagine that that person's there with us. I mean, would we say those things if the person was in the room? Probably not. So we have to find ways to trick ourselves into refraining from creating harmful actions and creating negative seeds. And the same thing with our physical actions and our mental actions. So there's something that you find is particular, that you find yourself doing a lot, maybe that you want to work on. Maybe bring that to mind and just think that I'll work on it today, for the next 5 minutes after this session is finished. 30 seconds, whatever it is you can manage, that we don't lie to ourselves and go, okay, I'm never going to do this again. It becomes like a New Year's Eve promise, resolution, and we can't keep them. So we just do something that's within our reach, something that's reasonable. And it's really good to say, well, I won't do this between 9 o'clock tonight when I go to bed and 6 o'clock tomorrow morning when I wake up, because you'll be asleep, so I won't be harming anyone. So then we just think, may I refrain from all the other ones that are sort of kind of floating around in my karmic stream. The other thing too is we make a wish to perhaps try and be aware of when we're harming other people. And so this determination to not harm again is what gives us the courage to change. So next is the conclusion. So Guru Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind. He melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. So you think my Guru's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, my own body, speech, and mind are the same thing. And LAMA YESHE calls this union oneness. So Lama Rinpoche now recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the 3 circles. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So just at whatever level we all understand emptiness, just try and place our minds there for a moment. So we could think of all phenomena as being empty. They don't exist from their own side. We can remember that things are all dependently arising. Everything is a dependent arising. Things are dependent upon other things in order to come into existence. And then there's the way our body is structured. We're kind of, in a way, we're stuck viewing the world the way we do because of the way we're physically structured. So perhaps think, if this is the case, then maybe things don't exist the way we really think they do. Maybe they exist differently from the way we see them. This just helps to break down our concrete view of the world and of people. So for just a little dedication prayer, dedicate all the merit, the positive energy that you've created this evening, doing this purification to all the people of your life, and then all living beings. And think, may all the virtuous karma I have created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's just do some long life prayers. The wish granting, wish fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso, I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, you uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplish magnificent prayers, honoring the three jewels, savor of myself and others, your disciples. Please, please live long. And for Soul, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us, in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please, please live long. And for precious Geshe-la, beloved teacher, leading your students towards wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequaled guide. Please live a long and stable life. So there we are again, another day of our life done as we move closer to our death. Sorry to be so morbid. And everyone, now we can go to bed with a happy mind. We're completely purified. So if we do die in our sleep, we're okay. We're good. And lots of love, everybody. And good night. And I look forward to seeing you all next time. And there's somebody's cat. Hi, Puss. Oh, who's that?